real, but we better do our homework to find out for sure. We're here with Chad Lyer from Aero Service Team, and Chad, you started telling me the story, and I said, let's stop until we're on the air because I wanted to hear it for the first time as you told our viewers. You know, you hear about all these different fraud things that are going on with the internet, but you guys had a really scary situation a couple of weeks ago.
We did, yeah. It was happened right over the Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
And the first clue, which I totally missed.
Well, basically what happened?
The first clue was on a Friday before Memorial Day.
Okay.
I got a call from someone that said we were at their house, cleaned their ductwork.
Okay, so from a customer.
From a customer.
Okay.
Called Aero, and they said, our furnace isn't running now, or our AC isn't working.
Since you did the ductwork.
Since we did the work. I was busy trying to get people out of the office for Memorial Day weekend. Generally, our practice is if we do some work and it isn't quite right, we'll send one of our subcontractors out there, because most of the time it's something else.
Right.
But sometimes it is our problem. The guy went out there from one of the mechanical shops, and he said, hey, Chad, no big deal. They just left the furnace door off.
Okay.
You know, so it wasn't running.
So you're thinking nothing of it at
I'm
this point.
thinking nothing of it. I'm like, I need to talk to them, make sure they're paying attention. You know, like
right.
everyone misses something. Memorial Day weekend, I'm thinking they were hurrying, whatever.
Right. So you're thinking it's one of your employees was in a hurry to get out of there and in haste left the door off.
And didn't look at the schedule, seeing where they were at.
Okay.
You know, we were working that day, but not at that house. And so then on Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day, I get a text message from one of my friends that's a sales manager or salesperson at one of like the competitive companies, and he's like, I got 3 people in this room that have scheduled ductwork with you, and is this your ad?
So you're starting, is this the first time that you're going, wait a minute, something's not right here?
This was Tuesday about 10 o'clock,
yeah.
and he's in his meeting, and you know, there's 12 people in the room, and they're talking about what their goals are for the week, and they're all passing around that they're getting this ductwork cleaning job that should be like $700, $800, $900 for $259.
Red flag right there, right?
Okay, yep. And so he sends me the message, and I'm like, you know, 3-day weekend, just a zoo. I'm just not like really processing
Still not
it
clicking.
yet. So, but an hour later, we get 2 phone calls because we're late for appointments that aren't on our schedule. So then I started getting a little bit more like, we got to figure this out. About a half an hour later, we get another call. So we've got 3 people that have called.
And they're probably not happy.
Well, they're questioning what's going on because there's communication issues. It's all by text messages. Some of the text messages even said, if this is spam, please reply stop. Which
is a spam. Is a scam.
It
going
could
on right
potentially
there,
be a scam, right? And so,
imagine that, a mosquito around here.
oh,
Imagine that.
Bring on some more rain. I don't know. I don't like to water. But anyway, so then it got to the point where I was like, I got to fix this. And I ended up taking the phone number off of Facebook.
Of the ad that these people are responding to.
The ad that the people are responding to. I called them. It went straight to a text thing. And then I asked them more than one time, is this Aero Service Team? They're like, yes, our address is this, everything else, you know. So I meet the person at a house the next day.
From this company?
From this company. I called the police. We worked together. Lincoln Police did a brilliant job. Like,
okay.
I got to throw it out there for them. So we caught the people. You know, they got charged with some things. I showed them the, you know, the transactions. And some of the bigger red flags were, I was brought to the house, or I was at the house. I was told it was $256, I think. And I finally went to the bank after they told me they didn't take credit cards, debit cards.
Straight cash.
Their check, QuickBooks was down, so they couldn't take checks. So they were down to only taking cash.
Imagine that.
So at that point I left, called the police. We came back. I had $750 that he needed on a $256 job, or $259, whatever.
Okay.
And then he's like, oh, I found a whole bunch more problems.
I'll bet.
And so at that point he wanted over $1,000.
So he doesn't know who you are.
He doesn't know who I am. And so then I say, okay, well, I'll pay you the $750 because I'm not doing any more upgrades, you know, and kind of hammered him down. Like, he's like, whatever. And at that point, I tried to get a receipt from him. And then I said, this is Aero Service Team, correct? And he said, oh, yes, it's Aero Service Team. I own the company. But the receipt's going to come from another company I own. And at that point, I got the receipt, and it wasn't from my company that he told me I owned,
Right, yeah.
which was getting really confusing.
If only he'd have known he was talking to the owner.
Yeah, and so anyway, charges were pressed, whatever, and the cop said, leave town, this is
Get
not
out.
good.
Yeah.
Very, I mean, he did a really good job.
The officer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not even 2 hours later, I get a phone call that we're late for another appointment.
Oh my.
And so I'm like, I kind of know the lady, but I don't know her well. And I said, when he's there, call me. I'm going to go and take care of this.
Okay, so you did.
I did. He got charged again with a whole bunch of different...
Same guy.
Same guy. And that time he was arguing with the police that he owned the company still.
Okay. Well, this is getting pretty deep. Bottom line is they are out of the area.
I believe they're out of the area.
Okay.
But the things that I learned.
Yes.
Okay. The Bismarck Police Department was involved the second time. They did a very good job. They did some things really quick. They checked like the Better Business Bureau. They checked with like the state if he was licensed.
Okay. My
And
guess is no.
Negative on both of
Yeah.
those two. And the other thing that they did that I had the receipt from earlier in the day. They looked up the location of the building.
Oh, okay.
Because right now we're at a brick and mortar location,
yeah,
right?
Right.
His brick and mortar location that he was using was a burnt up building in Kalamazoo,
Oh my goodness.
and there was not a window in it, and the roof was half gone.
Unreal. So that was their store.
That was their storefront.
Okay. Some things that they can do quickly. We're down to about a minute. Google search. Check their website. What else can they do?
I think the biggest indicators that I got from other people, if you're not being able to talk to people and there's a lot of misspellings in text messages and goofy
Bingo.
things, that's a huge sign. And then check your storefronts, make sure that things are real. Google Maps, do the street view, make sure things are legit.
Whether you live in Dickinson, Williston, Bismarck, Minot, or all points in between, most of us know the businesses that have been in the area for a while, or if it's a new business, we know whether they're a credible business or not. Make sure it's so much better to go with someone you know, and like you say, even though they were calling themselves Aero Service Team, maybe make a call to Aero Service Team and say, hey, I got this call, is this legit?
Yeah, and it just concerns me how many projects they did, because
Unreal.
the first I heard about them was a callback on work we didn't do.
Exactly. Chad, it's a very good warning. The red flags are all over. And if you get a text that says, reply stop, delete it. Do not reply stop, because that's a way that they get into you and start the process.
Yeah, no, it was a very very strange situation. I didn't know how I felt that day,
Yeah, I'll bet. You felt violated, didn't you?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, I believe it. All right, where do we find the real Aero Service Team?
We're here on Broadway Avenue in Bismarck.
You can drive by and see it. They got signs up.
All over the place.
Yeah.
And we're out in Dickinson by Rough Rider RV. And you can go to our website, check those websites. Ours is very creditable, along with most of the contractors in Bismarck
yep.
and in Dickinson. Those are some of the main things.
Sounds great. Chad, thank you so much. I'm sorry that happened to you, but what a great learning experience for all of us to be able to see that.
I'm glad I'm able to share it.
All right, Chad, thanks so much. Aero Service Team, Chad Lyer, we're taking a break. Back right after this.